All right, guys, good evening and welcome to the show. I'm making this show tonight because something's got me completely pissed off. And yes, you should be pissed off too. I love America. I love the people of America. I love this country. And I think you do too. Whether or not you believe you're a true, deep down patriot and you're deep in the shit, doesn't really matter like that. What matters is you live in this country if you're American and you live in this country. I think. Yeah. So basically, the politics that go on do affect you. If you're single right now, you're most likely single because of rules and regulations that the politicians put into place, which makes it hard to get together, be married, stay together forever, and have a happy life. It's hard. Ask anyone who's married. But tonight's video is by Kim Iverson. I believe the video is about Trump, Epstein, everybody else involved, with the new name that will be familiar to those of you who remember lifestyles of the rich and famous. And what is accused that he did will shock you.
Well, today, the Department of Justice released 3 million documents, 3 million pages of documents in the latest Epstein drop, as well as more than 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. And some of the information in this drop was pretty darn damning against the president, Donald Trump. So damning, in fact, that the DOJ released the documents that had all of these accusations against Donald Trump. Very, very horrific accusations, really horrific accusations. But just accusations. Because was anybody investigating any of these things? No, probably not. So everything remained an accusation and everybody has plausible deniability in the end, right? That's how they did it. That's how this whole scandal was covered up. One of the ways. They were so damning that the DOJ actually removed the pages after the fact. But we have them. They're not going to be able to get around it. People still have them. This is what we saw later on in this afternoon, was this page not found when trying to access the documents. Previously, the documents were there. One thing that was also very strange about this was the link to see all of these files for the DOJ did require you to verify that you were over the age of 18. So they ask, are you a robot? And then the next question is, are you over the age of 18? They normally don't do that, so that was an extra layer that they put on here. They had 6 million documents. Now, what happened to the other 3 million? They're claiming they're duplicates. Okay, I still want to see the duplicates because a duplicate's a duplicate unless it's not quite a duplicate, right? Maybe you're just erasing a line. You think we won't notice it, but that line is worth noticing. So there are 3 million more pages that are yet to be released. They're claiming, though, the DOJ is saying, no, we've released everything. We're done. We've now fulfilled our obligation. And Ro Khanna and others are saying, no, you haven't. You need to release the rest of the files. And they're claiming they don't have anything else to release. So what we have is what we have.
Okay. So to be clear here, what Kim was just saying was that the DOJ, Department of Justice, released 3 million, not 300,000, million pages of Epstein file documents. Just that number alone, if there's that much information, let's be logical here, okay? If anyone had 3 million pages of documents on you as an American, accusations, testimonies, people, 3 million pages on you, you don't think you'd be in court answering to it at least, guilty or not? They're bringing charges. What they're not doing in this situation is bringing charges against anyone. They act like Epstein and who's the young lady that was helping him out, Ghislaine Maxwell is her name. They're acting like they're the only ones guilty here. But what you're about to hear is much worse.
Now, be forewarned, I'm going to read some of these to you, and they are not good. This is not good. Some of the things that are the accusations in here. One accusation reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. And the response, so these are complaints, and then in the next column is response, and then criminal history is on the right-hand side. Now, they've redacted all the criminal history. I'm not sure who's the criminal history? Who are they talking about? The criminal history of the perpetrator or the victim? Unclear.
All right. So what's being said here, what she just explained was there was an accusation, a document, someone gave testimony to investigators or somebody, right, that said, hey, I was 13, 14 years old, which once again, we can debate whether that's a child or not. I personally don't think that's a child. I think it's a young person. We can talk more about that later. But they say, hey, I was 13, 14 years old, and I was forced or put in a situation where I felt pressure to give oral stimulation to a certain Donald Trump. As a goofy young person, I bit them, and while doing this, and then, oh man, this is tough to explain. And then they smacked me or physically assaulted me beyond sexually because I joked or giggled or laughed. Probably an insecurity for a person doing this in a situation, right? Not that we've all been there, but you can understand. And that can be scarring for a lifetime if not treated well at those ages. Let's just say that. So yeah, this is brutal. And there's so much more.
The response to that was spoke with caller who identified lead was sent to Washington office to conduct interview. Okay, but what happened with that? We don't know. Here's another one. At age 16, while modeling, caller attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, caller reported that she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped her best friend, and a third brother, Tall, raped a 14-year-old girl named Redacted. Caller named other individuals involved, big orgy parties with her, other young girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Online complaint reported she was a victim and witness to a sex trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, between 1995 and 1996. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madam and broker for sex parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leech, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked about what went on there or who she saw, she would end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other cunts. Complainant claims to have video of high-profile sex parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leech strangle a young girl to death at a party. That's a name I haven't heard in these Epstein files before. Maybe you have, but I haven't heard Robin Leech.
Robin Leech. Some of us remember Robin Leech from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Like Kim said, I haven't heard of anybody myself in the Epstein files. I haven't heard of Robin Leech in the Epstein files. Let's just say that. Now, the names keep popping up. But the victim... And the victims keep popping up. We don't get names of these victims, so it's hard to bring them to life except through these words of what they've reported. Once again, millions of pages of reporting that, hey, something's going on here. And this something is being brought by an outside government's spy on us that is using sex trafficking to control our country. This means it doesn't matter who you vote for. None of that matters. But let's get back to what Kim was saying. A reading. Young girls or young women being threatened with death if they explained what was happening to them. Young women being threatened with becoming fertilizer on golf courses, on Trump properties, if they said anything about what was happening to them. So many people bearing witness to these actions. So many people there, watching, participating. All the people we look up to. All the people we fund and finance through our viewership. You pay them every time you watch them. You watch them on ABC, NBC, YouTube, anywhere. You're putting money in their pockets. That's why I suggest to you tonight and every other night that you only watch truth tellers and those who are truly doing God's work. I'm a Christian, but I'm not like all Christian every day and everything, but God is God. I don't care what religion you are. You know right from wrong, don't you? This story gets much worse, so I'll speak less and say less.
Here's another one. Sorry, these are very graphic and terrible, but this is what the DOJ released and then deleted. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriends, redacted, were victims of Epstein's and one was murdered. While working as a limousine driver, complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things Trump spoke about on his cell phone were very concerning and described being a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying. Complainant noted Trump repeatedly stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone. One complainant's ex-girlfriend, redacted, told complainant Trump raped her, as did Epstein. Caller is talking about crimes committed against. So here's another one. They said also, by the way, voicemail left, no response. Caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, that all would sound like a conspiracy theory. If somebody called up, there's like a sex trafficking thing going on. It involves the British royal family and Lisa Marie Presley and President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. People would be like, wow, you are off. You're a rocker. Fast forward now, we got all the, there's Prince Andrew.
Yes, now. Exactly right. Now it all makes sense. Now it actually sounds real because it is. I'm a very old guy. I'm way past midlife, okay? Seen a lot. Lived in all around the world, traveled, lived in most American states. I can tell you, in my years, even growing up as a young child, young man, I never thought I would see the day that I would see all of this. A day where men and women couldn't be together in relationships. A day where I would know that all my years, even at war, fighting at war, 3 tours Afghanistan, Iraq, I've been there, did it all. And I thought I was fighting for something real. I think most of us thought we were fighting for something real, right? And just to discover that just fighting for a bunch of rich guys and weird women to take advantage of us all. They take money from us through tax dollars. They make up causes and wars and bullshit so they can take those tax dollars and pocket it. And then they use the money to steal our daughters. Then they use the money to steal our wives from us. Then they use the money to keep us all divided. Ooh, race issues, right? Do we really have race issues? I don't think so. I think the people that have been doing this have just been dividing us. If you look on our money, I forget, maybe all dollars, some dollars. United we stand, divided we fall. They've kept us divided via race issues, Republican, Democrat. Really, what does Republican, Democrat mean? This didn't even start up until Thomas Jefferson and Adams and some bullshit and this whole scheme of division. So what? Republican, Democrat. Every election, are you telling me that every election, half of the country loses, half of the country wins? How can we have one united country if that's the case? I think it's time that all Americans stand for something, right? Maybe all Americans should stand for America. Maybe all Americans should simply be America first. Have you considered that? Let's just be Americans together, not Republicans, not Democrats. We all truly have the same issues. Our issues don't change based upon what side of the aisle you're on because they want us divided. We're not really racist. They use race. They use religious divide because that's all they have. The people that have been doing this to us, guys, they never really had a country in our time. They come together with each other based upon religion and blood and a common goal to control everything, control everyone. They feel divided, so they make sure they control us and make sure that we feel divided. If we unite, stop fighting each other, come together, we can defeat this. But this story's really tragic. So let's continue. I'm going to we'll get back to Kim here.
Oh, we got all these photos and whatnot. And it's kind of like all these things that people were claiming are starting to look a little bit more, verifiable. I'll read you a couple more. Complainant followed up after a call with New York PD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex acts with him and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her newborn child.
Now, hold on 1 second. We've accepted everything else is almost fine. But now, someone claiming Trump was present when her newborn was murked. I'm at a loss for words, and I shouldn't be. You're on YouTube. Don't have a loss for words, right? What the is going on? Maybe it's different. Let me give all of them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, let's go back, even in the 1950s, right? 40s, 50s, American history, I don't know. Just back through time. You found a 14-year-old, you're like, oh, she's perfect wife for me. You're a billionaire, you married her, everybody thinks it's gross, her parents signed off on it. Cool. She lived a great billionaire life. Cool. She might not have done better than that. Worst case scenario, that's the best you could do with this type of craziness. All right. But to sit here and say that you're just running through young women and young girls in a vulnerable state, because I'm a big, strong, awesome guy. But compared to billionaires and their money and power, I'm not really. I would be vulnerable to them. So put yourself in the shoes of these young girls. It's a misuse of power. It's abuse. And I think in many, many, many cases, it was murderous. And that part of the story is coming up. So don't tune off now. We have a problem on our hands. And if you're a coward, you're not going to be able to help us fix it. So my suggestion to you, all of you tonight, stop being cowards. Wake up. It's that time.
Calendar girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vaginas by entering a finger and rated the children. And the guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old. When Donald Trump raped me, Ghislaine Maxwell was also present.
Just for a second. Let's go here. We're having a good time tonight. Let's go here. Just for a second. Who in the world would make up a story like this? Who's just going to make this up? You think all of these people are just the best writers. They're all writing these novels of, and they would measure with fingers within people and auction them up. Really? I couldn't even write this. It would take a minute. It's too deep. You think a bunch of women just made this up? There are so many lies. Yes, you know me. I'm Ricky Red Pill. I don't put up with men or women's bullshit ever. Maybe there is false stories within these tales, but all this 3 million pages of it, nah. That's why they redact and retract everything. Just constant lies. TikTok was just purchased by people that want TikTok to represent lies. Now people are fleeing TikTok again, even though it's under American ownership, because they're just censoring everybody. Everybody's censoring. Guys, we're going to be screwed if we don't fix this soon. This is disgusting. I was a Trump supporter. I was MAGA. All that. But now I have no choice but to only be America first. Our young men and young women are our future. And this isn't the story, this Epstein, Trump, all these people involved. It's not about them. It is about them. I mean, there's people we have to stop. And it's most of them. 93% of our government is controlled by foreign governments. 100% of our government is controlled by companies or corporate interests. Our government does not work for us. And that's the bottom line.
All right, here's another one. In 2004 to 2005, Sir Ivan Wiltzig hosted a party where Jeffrey Epstein, Sammy Sosa, and Donald Trump were in attendance. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door. At the party, caller met an individual who was approximately 18 to 23 years of age, who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France. Several women were being auctioned, and a woman possibly known as Colette LNU was the madam. A couple of years later, caller saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of Santos' friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending a night with her and that he could pay her a lot of money. These just don't sound made up. You know, they just don't really sound made up.
Yeah, they don't sound made up. That's exactly what I was just saying. This is not made up. None of this is made up. This is our reality. Very Orwellian, very crazy. It's where reality is more insane than fiction. Just in the words of a great man, you can't make this shit up. You can't. All these testimonies, endless years, people dying over it. This is a massive cover-up of. This is no, it's not. I'm taking it. I'm being light when I say it's a massive cover-up. It's not a massive cover-up. It is the massive cover-up of the world ever, of America ever. There's never been a time in history where so many rich and elite and famous people, she just mentioned Jamie Foxx. I've heard stories of Michael B.P. Jordan, not Michael, you know what I'm talking about, the actor, about to get all the Grammys and stuff. I heard stories of him with girls. It's just insane. Nobody famous is left out of this because in order to reach certain levels of fame, you have to kiss the nanny goat. You got to kiss it. You got to become one of them. You got to pose with flowers, do really fake and gay shit, be a coward, and then look tough on screen in movies. Because guess what? The people that are doing this to us, they started and own Universal Studios. They started and own Paramount. They started and own Warner Brothers. And anything that they don't start and own, they bully their way into owning it. TikTok, BET, the list goes on. Stop being cowards. It's time we stand up and fight. We'll let Kim get to her last point, and then we'll get out of here and get into the comments, actually. Then we'll get out of here.
Okay, one more. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, victim one, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim one saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave victim one a drink, and victim one woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim one didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim one called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim one did not go to a hospital to have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk. Victim one's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and victim one believed Trump was behind it. Victim one also started dating a lawyer, identifiers unknown, who was married. Victim one had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim one left a bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with victim one. Victim one was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what victim one was wearing when she went missing. DNA tests at the time were inconclusive. Yeah, this is why the DOJ deleted these after they released them.
Yeah. Once again, to make sure you understand what's going on, the Department of Justice, the Department of Justice released 3 million pages of these documents today. Today. And they took them down, but people still have copies and different things. And that's what she's reading from. Something that got me about that last part was the young lady in that part woke up sore on a bed, feeling like she had been put through some sexual activity, and that she had actually, there was $300 left for her though. $300 makes it all right when multimillionaires and billionaires are doing this. That right there alone should tell you how they feel about us. That same woman could easily have been one of you guys' wife. She had husbands and boyfriend in business and another guy who's a lawyer she was going to deal with. Like all this stuff, right? It was in the story. Just rewind and look at it. But wow, the fact that you could do any of this and be like, I'm going to leave $300 on the bed. Even local ballers leave more money than that, bro. Even if there's no problem or assaults or anything. She got too drunk. We had a good time. I'm going to help her out. If you're a multi-millionaire, billionaire, shouldn't you be dropping $3,000 minimum? Not 300. $3,000 minimum. $10,000, $30,000 to avoid problems. $300. No wonder she snitched on you.
So very disturbing, very, very disturbing files. But what will be done about this? Probably nothing. In fact, this is what the Department of Justice, this is Todd Blanche with the Department of Justice. This is what he had to say about men. He's like, men? What men?
So, just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July, if we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right? We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women. If we learn about information and evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
Okay, then just
Yeah, because we redacted it all, right? Because these women apparently abuse themselves. What men? Men? What men are you talking about?
Yeah. What men and women? Shit. Like everybody was getting some of this action, right? What men? I don't know. The men and women, because it's not just men, honestly. Most of the girls were attracted through madams like Maxine and others. I'm finding out French women and all kind of weird stuff. You know, God bless Candace Owens, right? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, what men are doing whatever to who could do the fuck? But yeah, there's a lot of men and women involved in this, a lot of them, and I think that 3 million pages should fucking tell you that. But, you know, forget my opinion. Let's get into the comments, see what the people think. All right, top comment on this post says, the world is run by blood-soaked monsters. And yes, there's no way that any of us cannot agree with that. These people run the world and it is jacked up. That's the best I can say right now. The DOJ, or Department of Justice, are all liars. Well, duh, yes they are. And they are protecting the predators. Disgusting. And yes, it is. Next top comment. If the release are what? If the release are this bad, then imagine the hidden files. Yes. What are they not showing us? That's what's really important here, right? All right. Next top comment. You won't see this on Fox News, and no, you won't, because like I just told you, they've made sure, guys, that they own Fox, ABC, NBC, PBS. They own them all. And actually, I saw PBS recently, and if you look at the beginning and the end of a lot of those shows, they give you a list of names of the people who've invested and who are contributing to, and it is all them. And I'm not going to mention their name on this show tonight because I don't want to be any further shadow banned than I already am. So yes, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know what to do. The truth is on its way. Ricky ain't playing no more, bro. Forget the coward shit. But anyway, next top comment. When will people accept that we are ruled by criminals? And yes, we are. We literally have, I'm going to be careful here. We literally have amendment rights to not have this. So at some point, we might need to start flexing. All right. Next top comment on this post. Those who cover for criminals are criminals, correct? And yes, somebody got in my comments and said that me using the word correct was so hilarious, but on point. And yes, you using correct right here is correct because yes, those who cover for criminals are criminals. So we need to get to snitching. A lot of people did. We got 3 million pages of snitching on one group of criminals, but nobody's getting charges pressed. Make it make sense. Next top comment. So expect an attack on Iran soon. Yes, we're definitely going to do that because people need to forget about all of this criminal activity in our own country. You want to attack Iran because people are in the streets protesting. Well, guess what's happening in America? People are in the streets protesting, if I recall, but I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't get attacked by foreign countries and have bombs dropped on us. Next top comment. American people cannot trust government anymore. done. Yes, we are at the point where we are done. This is the best, by the way. This comment section is better than comment sections on most of my short form videos. I appreciate Kim's comment section. This is awesome. And yes, trusting our government is done. There's nobody there to trust because, like I told you earlier, 93% of our government is on foreign payroll. 100% of our government is on company and corporate interest payroll. Investors, they're there to make money, not to serve the people. But we can change it because we are the people. Let's see. Next top comment. Not a single man has been prosecuted. Not one. That is true. And not true. They did prosecute Epstein actually multiple times. Because he is the front man for this organization, but they made sure that every time he got off easy, except for the last time. Once Trump got in and the connection was too close to Trump because they were like best friends, honestly, for years. Like, we can't even hide that. That's not hidden anymore. Like, come on, dog. We know the truth. What's actually going on is they had to get rid of him at that point. The Clintons, the Trumps, these people aren't Republican, Democrat. They're not on opposite sides, guys. They have us thinking they're on opposite sides of the law or something, or the government, they're not. It's all one group working together. They plan a game in front of our eyes. Republican, Democrat, Republican. When Republicans are in power, you have no legs. When Democrats are in power, you have no arms. Americans are never whole. We have to stop this, guys. One America, united, America first. Let's go. All right. Next top comment. These people are monsters. Well, yeah, we pretty much know that by now. Next top comment. If they can carry out genocide without a twinge of, I don't know, conciseness, consciousness, pedo stuff. I can't say a lot of this stuff on YouTube. Is a poke in the eye. Yes, it is. I think it's worse than a poke in the eye, but we can discuss that later. What files? There are no files. Yeah, that is hilarious because there's over 3 million pages of files. There's files. There's a lot of them. And we're going to find them. Oh, we found them, but still nothing's going to get done. To get anywhere near the White House, you must have sold your soul multiple times over. This is a magnificent comment. And yes, you must have sold your soul multiple times over. But the other problem is, to get anywhere near Hollywood, the top of the music charts, the top of Hollywood, top of comedy, top of anything, that's what they've set up. Sell your soul, kiss the nanny goat, sell your soul, sign on the dotted line, in blood, and you're good. Do not sit around here and think that they're making shows about Meek Mill and Kevin Hart and all these people and Bad Bunny. They all had to. They're not letting you in unless you do that dirt. A few more comments and we'll get out of here. Let's see. Makes me want to puke. Disgusting beyond words. Criminals in power and above the law. Yes. As Kim puts it, what will be done about it? Nothing. Well, I don't know if Kim put it that way. This is treason. This is all kind of crimes against Americans. It's not the girls involved in these stories, guys. It's not really just about them. It's a reflection on our country, how we treat our daughters, how we treat our women. Guys, the number one natural resource, and I know red pill guys don't want to hear this, but I'm the king of red pill, so I'm going to say this. The number one natural resource in the world is women, okay? Without them, nothing flows, nothing goes. And they don't understand that, but as men, we need to understand that. Women don't understand their value, but as men, we need to understand the value of our women. We need to be protecting them. We need to make sure there's fathers in the home. Number one, that's just the first step. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but we need to start with fathers in the home. We need to have schools with education on how to love one another in a relationship because it's the most important decision you will ever make in your life. There's a lot to it, and we'll discuss that later. I think I'm going to produce a lot of shows here. But yeah, definitely right. So all of them in the DOJ should be charged with crimes. Yes, that and that too. Don't leave that part out. Next top comment. The move you get, reading with Ricky Red Pill here. the more you get close to power, the more you lose part of your soul. And yes, that is true. Power corrupts no matter who you are. There was a story with Lizzo a few years ago where, you could see that her gaining all that power corrupted her, and she was doing and having people in her crew and people that she hired doing really nasty, crazy things. Doesn't matter if you're male or female, guys. Power corrupts unless there is a law above it. And that's why the American people need to take control or retake control of our country, because we are close to losing it. Hashtag America first. Let's go. Kim Iverson is not I'm not gonna say that word, but yeah, they're gonna try. They don't want her around here neither. They don't want a lot of us around here. Many great men and women have already lost their lives to this struggle of fighting against these people, but we're the ones who are not cowards. Join us or not with your coward ass. A few more comments here. I'm getting out of here, man. I'm tired. It's been a long day. All right. In Robin Leach's voice, champagne wishes and caviar dreams, lifestyle of the rich and famous. Yeah, that was Robin Leech. And in this video, I don't know if we got to that part, but she did describe how one victim described Robin Leech choking a young woman to her end. And, the more money these people get, and they do weird stuff, because they can buy and purchase anything, and they want to experiment and go far with humans, and we're nothing but lab rats to them, right? That's why they eat stuff like caviar. The average person would not want to eat the raw eggs of any fish, right? But when you're very rich and you're a weirdo, and that's why they get into alternative lifestyles. That's why we've all kind of went the gay and fake routes, like Candace Owens says, because it's alternative lifestyle, man. They just do weird stuff, and that's why they cannot have the power. The people that should have the power in this country are the American people. When the people have the power, we have a beautiful country. When these weirdos have the power and control everything and make every decision, we don't. We don't live in a, what do you call that? All right. Some people think that we've lived in a democracy, and we actually have lived in a version of it, but not real democracy. The version of democracy that we've lived in is called representative democracy. We vote for candidates. The candidates go represent us in Washington, and they make decisions. Congressmen, senators, House of Representatives, presidents, vice president, all that shit. Guys, true democracy would be us getting on our cell phones. Hey, you want to go to war with Iraq? And you vote yes or no, and then they tally the votes, and we go or not. Hey, you want a new tax rate? Okay, I mean, people make decisions. Our representatives, if we have some, should only be giving us information on the issues so we can make an educated vote. That's what somebody who represents you should be doing. Representing us as a group, as a state, as a city, whatever, county. In the meeting, okay, we all can't go to the meeting, right? Well, we can via, transparency. Maybe we should televise or live stream all the get-togethers. Hey, and so the people can sit in and say, hey, I think I'll vote for that. I think I won't vote for that. I think I'll vote against it. I think I'll vote for it. That's true democracy. We don't have it. Follow the show, like, subscribe to the channel. More is coming. Long show, but I think we getting the point. See you guys on the next one.
In the comments, yeah, they going in on Ricky. The comments, I'm rolling while the vibe stays sticky. Ricky's on a mission, let him hate, let him feed. In the comments, they can't bring him to his knee. In the comments, they wildin', think